Hi, thanks for tuning in to the Acting Career Expert Studios. My name is Dan Warner. Today, we're answering a question, am I too old to become an actor? Now, I know this question has been asked many times, and I've seen several videos here on YouTube about this particular subject, and I'm not going to give you the trite sort of answer where it's like, oh, they need all ages and all shapes and sizes and all of that, because you probably know that already. And if you don't, then I just told you, but in a really condescending sort of sarcastic way, making fun of maybe the other videos that talk about this subject. But it is a serious subject for actors over, over 30, over 40, over 50 especially. They think, well, my ship has sailed. It's too late for me. Well, I can tell you in all certainty that it is not. I started my acting career at the ripe old age of 35. Now, a lot of people think, well, 30, if they're 35, oh, it's too late. You got to start when you're 20. You got to start when you're a kid. No, you don't. I started when I was 35. Started doing commercials. Broke into television. Did films, and I'm 56 now, so spoiler alert on that. I don't know how it's a spoiler alert, but in that time frame, over the past 21 years, 80 television shows and films, over 100 television commercials. So at 35. Now, I can say with all confidence that if I had started when I was 45, I'd probably have less credits, but I'd still have a lot, I would think. So you're never too old, really, to become an actor. The older you are, it's interesting when I watch older actors on the set, and they are maybe not as experienced or haven't had as much experience. For some reason, they are much more calm and much more real as a person with their character the older they are. Because the older you are, the more life experience you've had. Less things rattle you when you're older. Less things become so important when you're young. You're in your head and you're thinking about everything. And it doesn't mean older people can't be in their head as well. But all I'm suggesting is people over 40, over 50, over 60, they're much more zen usually as far as life and how the world works. And yes, I will say, as far as and I know I made fun of it earlier, but they do need all ages, all shapes, all sizes, all ethnicities. Listen, they've got, how many networks they have on TV now? They need content, and they are casting a wide net for everybody, regardless of your age. Listen, it's usually, well, it's not usually, I shouldn't say that, but it should be a meritocracy where if you're the right one for the part, you should get the part. Listen, if you're 55 and you're just starting and you kill your audition, and let's say you've only done one or two projects, maybe you have 2 or 3 IMDb credits, not much on your resume, you've done a commercial, and you book this job because they really loved your audition. They're not going to ask you, hey, how long have you been acting? And if you say, oh, 5 years. Oh, yeah. Really looking for someone who's been acting about 30 years or 20 years or at least 15, but 5. They're not going to do that. That's not going to happen. If they like you, if they're in love with you, if they're pregnant with you for this part, they're going to hire you regardless. Listen, there wouldn't be any diabetes, Alzheimer, any sort of pharmaceutical commercials without older people. And, a lot of these actors didn't start when they were in their 20s. And that's a myth. People think, well, I had to start when I was 20, otherwise, I don't have that. Listen, when you're 20, you don't know anything. When you're 15, you don't know any. When you're 25, you know very little. When you're 35, you start to sort of, okay, I'm starting to get the hang of this. When you're 40, 45, you start to ease into the life thing and like, yeah, I see how this goes. I've seen this movie before, and you start to get this sort of life experience, and good ways and bad ways. The older you get, the more tragedy befalls you. People die, and you have that in your heart. You have that in your DNA that people close to you are dying. Maybe family members, maybe siblings, classmates, and you can draw from all of those things much more than a 22-year-old can draw from. I mean, what do they have to draw from? So anyway, it's a long it's a question that's been asked many times, and the short answer is absolutely not. And I've just given you a lot of the reasons why. I still think you should go to class. It's amazing if you go to a scene study class and you're in your say you're in your late 40s, early 50s. They love you in class because they don't have older people in class, and there's a lot of scenes that call for older people. There's a lot of TV shows that call for older people. Hey man, you look at This Is Us. This Is Us has like almost, not almost all their cast because they do flashbacks and stuff, but they have a giant cast of older people. And they're constantly needing older people, and that's just one TV show and one network. It spans, listen, you've got, I don't need to tell you, Netflix, Amazon, Hulu, ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox. I mean, it's, and all the other ones that are coming out, Disney Plus and Apple Plus and all of that. They need content. They need older people. But more than anything, they need real people. They need real people having a real experience. And I talk about that in all of my videos. But pardon me if I say it's a dumb question. And I know if you're older and you're like, well, it's not a dumb question because I didn't know. They need you. They need younger people. They need middle-aged people. They need older people. They need fat people, skinny people, black people, white people, Asian people. They need all the people and all the sizes and all the colors and all the religions, all of it, all of it, all of it. They need all of it. So, fear not. And if let's say you're an older Persian woman, they need you. There's TV shows that need you. And so continue to go to class and study and do all the right things and submit, auditions on tape. Get an agent. If you've got an agent, they're going to know what to do with you. They're going to know where to put you. You might be in a specific, little category, but they still need you. And when they find a spot for you, man, it is going to be wonderful because you will be working over and over and over again. So there you have it. If this was remotely helpful to you, hit the like button. Also visit my website, danwarnermedia.com, where I do private coaching still through 2022. I've also got a great letter. It's an introduction letter to an agent. If you do not have an agent yet, you should check that out on danwarnermedia.com. If you've not subscribed to my channel, in this year I have vowed to do maybe, I'm going to do at least one a week and sometimes two a week. I'm going to up my game a little bit and continue to give you more and more great information. If you've got any questions about being an older actor, or any questions at all, leave them in the questions and comments section down below. And that's it, man. That's go out and do your stuff. It's still January. We've got a long way to go this year, and so do all the right things. Be a real person in a real place, having a real experience, and tune in next week for another episode of Gunsmoke. Have I done Gunsmoke? I don't think I have. I should start making a list. I know I threatened to make a list before, but I've yet to do it. But maybe next week I'll make a list. It'll be great. All right.